Fairy lights dance over the set, illuminating ducks bobbing on a pond and improbably green rubber plant fronds swaying in time to the music. With the audio turned off, it's possible to mistake the singers in their spangled Achkan Sherwani suits for performers at someone's wedding. The lyrics, though, aren't about love. There is just one punishment for those who blaspheme against the Prophet. The pop musician Aftab Ali Qadri sings out, "Cut their heads from their bodies." 10 years after that song released on YouTube, celebrating the assassination of politician Salman Taseer, who enraged fanatics in Pakistan by defending a blasphemy-accused woman, its ideas are finding a strange new life in India. There is one song you can find on the net exhorting believers to sacrifice themselves to stop the infidels. Another praises young Indians for the glint of swords in their eyes. Even though most Indian Muslim leaders have been unequivocal in condemning last month's blasphemy murders carried out after Bharatiya Janata Party leader Nupur Sharma made remarks critical of the Prophet Muhammad, there is disturbing evidence they've energized a far-right fringe. There have been public calls for Sharma to be killed, and ugly videos have proliferated online. The anti-blasphemy campaign in India, though, isn't unlike in Pakistan, being led by clerics who are manipulating religious passions to gain political power. There are no armies in India of seminary-educated fanatics. Few of the blasphemy killers even had any form of religious education or ties to right-wing organizations. India's new blasphemy killers aren't being manufactured at madrasas or training camps in Pakistan. They're the products of an increasingly ugly pop culture, in turn a warning sign of how fraught the communal relationship in India has become. Little in the lives of the Udaipur blasphemy accused, assembled by ThePrint from investigation-related documents as well as interviews with families, marks them out from their social milieu. The son of Abdul Jabbar, a member of the Lohar or ironsmith caste, 1981-born Muhammad Riaz grew up in the small town of Asidh in Rajasthan's Bhilwara district. The youngest of 10 brothers and a sister, Riaz was put to work as a child at his father's welding works. He never received any formal education, religious or secular, and remained functionally illiterate. Early in 2003, Riaz was married to Nosheen Khan. The couple had 2 children, a son and a daughter who are now both in their early teens. The children, family sources tell us, have had to be withdrawn from school after their father's arrest. Following his marriage, Riaz seems to have set about clawing his way into the lower middle class. Along with one of his brothers, Sikandar, Riaz set up a welding business servicing trucks and construction equipment at Devgarh near Rajasmand. The business, according to the accounts of local residents, did reasonably well. Empowered by his small but steady income, Riaz seems to have sought out social respectability and became active in religious circles linked to the Dawat-e-Islami. He was introduced to the organization, police investigators believe, by one of his clients who runs a tempo taxi business. The Dawat-e-Islami has been linked to calls for violence against purported blasphemers, and its members have been found guilty of murders in France and Pakistan. Like pietist groups of other faiths though, the Dawat-e-Islami also serves as a sort of social network which gives its members opportunities for upward mobility. In 2019, Riaz travelled with his family to Saudi Arabia for the Hajj pilgrimage, paying 2.5 lakh rupees in costs, which family sources said he was able to obtain by selling off a small plot of land inherited from his father. Little evidence exists, though, to suggest that Riaz's religious enthusiasm changed his ideological views. In 2016, he landed a job at a marble business owned by Mitul Chandela, the son-in-law of former Rajasthan Minister Gulab Chand Kataria. The presence of Riaz at BJP events, which he advertised on his Facebook page, enraged local Islamists. A local leader linked to the Popular Front of India, investigation documents show, wrote in Hindi below the post, "Riaz is a bastard, not a Muslim." Like Riaz, Mohammad Ghaus, the second blasphemy murder accused from Udaipur, clawed his way up from modest circumstances. Educated until class 10 at a government school in Udaipur, the 1984-born Ghaus landed a job selling advertising for the local newspapers Dainik Bhaskar and Rajasthan Patrika. Those jobs brought in barely 3,000 rupees a month. In time though, Ghaus secured better paying work selling investment schemes. Together with his family, Ghaus was able to perform the pilgrimage to Mecca in 2013. In December the next year, he travelled for a Dawat-e-Islami gathering in Karachi, Pakistan. Like other members of Dawat-e-Islami, police officials familiar with the case say, the two men spent hours watching the Madni channel, which has been banned in India since 2012 but is available online. They searched for theological guidance on the website, which offers advice on an eclectic range of subjects from marriage to the propriety of ritual ablutions in a bathroom with an attached toilet. For all the obsessive religiosity though, there's nothing in investigation records to suggest either man was in touch with jihadists. Instead, the decision to kill the Udaipur tailors was made in the course of multiple meetings at local mosques. The men were on social media networks where several individuals called for violence against Nupur Sharma. But those people did not participate in the plot itself. That raises the question, where did these killers get their ideas from? The stories of the 7 men arrested for the blasphemy murders of Amravati shopkeeper Umesh Kole hold out a similar mystery. None had attended a seminary or had any links to a religious order. 5, including main accused Irfan Khan, never even completed high school. Like the men in Udaipur, Khan had clawed himself out of poverty to set up a small business that dealt in real estate and second-hand vehicles. He participated in pandemic relief work in 2021. Few Indian jihadists, interestingly, had any religious education either. Just 2 of the Indian Mujahideen's 10 top leaders had any religious instruction. Zishan Ahmad, alleged to be involved in the 2008 shootout with the Delhi police at Batla House, was pursuing a business administration degree. His flatmate Mohammad Saif, a history graduate, also hoped to secure an MBA. Mohammad Zakir Sheikh was studying for a master's degree in psychology in Azamgarh, and Sadiq Ishrar Sheikh, accused of co-founding and leading the Indian Mujahideen, spent 2 years in an Azamgarh madrasa as a child, but as an adult enrolled himself in a computer education course and showed little interest in religious matters. Abdul Karim Tunda, who's considered the founding patriarch of the jihadist movement in India, studied at a Christian-run missionary school in Ghaziabad until he was 11 years old. He was forced to discontinue his education not because of any religious reasons, but because of the family's financial circumstances after the death of his father. The scholar Irfan Ahmad has argued that Indian jihadist groups, as well as organizations like the Students' Islamic Movement of India, are driven by political concerns rather than theology. Simi's literatures, as well as the Indian Mujahideen's manifestos, center around communal violence against Muslims. Their theological case for jihad draws on the failure of the state system to protect the community. For decades, India has seen successive waves of recruitment to terrorist groups linked to the wider ebb and flow of communal conflict. Since 2016, the NIA has made over 100 arrests, but the blasphemy killings suggest Islamist violence may be enmeshing itself more deeply in communities, transmitted through pop culture as India's communal tide turns ever more toxic. I'm Praveen Swami, and I'm National Security Editor of ThePrint.